Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. Guys, the newest episode of The Flash Season 2, Episode 18 versus Zoom, just finished airing on TV. Now I'm here to review / just talk about the episode. If you haven't seen the newest episode of The Flash versus Zoom, the one I'm reviewing, click away. I'm getting into spoilers in this review. I will ruin this episode for you if you haven't seen it. So only watch this review if you have seen the newest episode versus Zoom. If not, click away. You have been warned. I'm getting into spoilers. Okay, let's jump into this episode. So the first thing I want to talk about is at the end of the episode, because when they mentioned it and when Zoom put it out there, hey, you get Wally back if I get your speed. I thought, okay, Flash and the team, they're going to secretly have a plan to where he's going to think he gets Flash's speed, but he doesn't. They got rid of his speed. It's gone. He actually got it. Zoom actually got Flash's entire 100% speed. He is now a human being now. I was quite shocked by this because I honestly thought that it's one of those things where they're mentioning it, they're building up the tension, which makes sense. But when we get to the actual thing, they had a plan set. There was no plan. Zoom got what he wanted. Quite shocked. I really didn't think they were going that direction. But then again, I didn't think they were going to paralyze Barry for almost an episode. So they're taking the show to risky places. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how this will turn around and be a positive for Barry when he finally gets his speed back. Because I didn't think he would lose it. He has. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully he gets it back next episode. Maybe they'll prolong it for a couple episodes. He doesn't have it. I don't know, but Zoom has it. So the next thing I do want to talk about, besides that major bomb that the Flash is no longer the Flash, he is now Barry Allen, the human being, is Zoom's origin. Now, what I really found interesting about this is because they kind of paralleled it a little bit, where we kind of saw Barry's origin with his mom, and you see the speed, you see the lightning going around her, and we got to see that like a little bit of again. And then the episode starts off after the little, my name is Barry Allen, I'm the fastest man alive, and all that monologue stuff. We see Zoom's, Hunter Zolomon's origin. Very similar to Barry's, except in this case, Hunter's watching his mother, and then his dad gives him the Jay Garrick, or the helmet that resembles his Jay Garrick's helmet, and then he just shoots the mom right in front of Hunter Zolomon. We don't know what happened to his dad. All we know is his dad probably got arrested. That's it. We don't know if anything else happened to him. So we got that little bit of insight. We also got to see how Zoom, Hunter Zolomon, got his speed, which he was getting electroshocks every day, and that's when the particle accelerator on Earth 2 exploded, and it gave Hunter Zolomon his speed from this electrical shock. So it's a little bit of a different thing than Barry and chemicals and the thing going off, but in this case, Hunter Zolomon was getting shocked, and now he got the Speed Force. Crazy stuff. I like the little bit of tidbit there. But what I was really intrigued by, what everybody was intrigued by, was how in the hell was there two Jay Garrick's Hunter Zolomons, essentially. It's Hunter Zolomon. So I want to stick with that from now on. How in the world were there two? Because he kills Jay, Hunter Zolomon, and he reveals himself by taking off the mask, so he killed himself. So the question was, did the Velocity 9 he was taking, did that create a doppelganger? Everyone thought that. Turns out, no. They threw us for a loop. He goes back in time and gets a former version of him, gets himself essentially, and talks to himself and convinces himself, at a point, I'm going to have to kill you off, because they'll think Jay Garrick died because Zoom killed Jay Garrick, when technically Zoom killed himself. So it's a very bizarre thing, but it was a very cool twist, because I honestly thought that it was going to be, well, when I was taking Velocity 9 and I got the Speed Force, but then we saw his origin, so I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he was taking Velocity 9 after he became Zoom, and he basically created another version of himself, like he split. Nope. He went back in time and got another version of himself. I like that reveal. It was pretty awesome. Seeing him interact with Barry, Cisco, Iris, Joe, and seeing the interaction there, when he has the mask off and they've already agreed to give him the speed, it's just really bizarre for them to talk to him and all that kind of stuff, and they knew they were defeated. And it was kind of bizarre because earlier in this episode, when Zoom got to Earth 1, there was a little bit of thing where Barry was doing some mind trickery with Zoom about showing his dad on like a a board or whatever, then showing his mom, and then Barry was getting some punches in. Barry was kicking some ass on Zoom, but I knew it wasn't going to last long because eventually Zoom's going to get out of it. And when Zoom took Wally, I thought that was maybe going to be a prolonged thing. Before they revealed, Wally for the speed, essentially trade-off, I thought that Zoom was going to reveal to Wally that Barry Allen is the Flash. He could have easily told him, but maybe it wasn't going to work out for the best. We got to see the man in the Iron Mask, and that was even brought up during this little talk between Hunter Zolomon unmasked in front of Barry and the team. Who's the man in the Iron Mask? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Something along the lines of that. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. People have been saying it's the actual Jay Garrick. Hearing this line tonight, I probably should have got this at the very beginning because it's a really good prediction. Who's man in the Iron Mask? After hearing that, I'm saying it's his dad from Earth 1. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm thinking that might be it because he's not been shown at all this entire season except for at the very beginning, and at that point after Zoom kicked the crap out of Barry, then his dad shows up in all black, which was really interesting. So they were trying to throw us for a loop. They were thinking, is his dad from Earth 2 or Earth 1 Zoom? What? So it might be his dad, and maybe his dad was a speedster before Barry was born, or he was a speedster and he was hiding it. There's so many theories, and then obviously Jay Garrick. I don't know, but I'm very intrigued on that aspect about who could it be in the Iron Mask. But this was a great episode to come back from the small break, which is bullshit. They should not go on breaks. It's just not worth it. Just stupid. Just don't go on breaks. But I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was a great comeback. They did some really risky stuff. Taking Barry's speed, having Zoom capture Wally, which was a kind of a spin, because obviously he could have easily kidnapped Caitlin or somebody else, or even Harrison Wells, but he kidnaps Wally. So, interesting little side note for that. So maybe that's implying that maybe Wally West at some point will become Kid Flash, or a version of the Flash. He's not really a kid, so who knows? I really thought that maybe that was going to go there with some hinting, but I guess not for right now. But great episode. Really enjoyed it. And as the episode ended off, Zoom takes Caitlin. Takes her. And just gone. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm assuming that Caitlin's going to be a prisoner of Zoom. Maybe. I'm assuming he went back to his Earth. I mean, no one can stop him because Flash doesn't have his speed. So that's the most intriguing thing. How is he going to get his speed back? Don't know. I'm really excited to find out how they're going to handle that. So there you have it, guys. This was a great episode. I really did enjoy it. A lot of great moments, some really intense moments. The big, twist about him losing his speed, a great risk, but then again, it's going to switch up the storytelling a little bit because Barry doesn't have a speed. So he can't solve all the problems he could as a speedster. He just can't anymore. So really curious to see how they handle that, and I'm really curious to see how he gets his speed back overall. So overall, great episode. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching my review for this episode. I can't wait to see the next episode. I'm so excited. Okay, guys. Peace out.